So Dayman's recent just streak of genius when it came with making that new fire and light Brunhild mix deck with its crazy amount of rush with that new sapling. Just, you know, made me want to record my own Brunhild deck. I know that it's something that's been done before, and I gotta give a shout out to the Reddit Force of Will community for coming up with this deck. I took the idea, I ran with it, I adapted it, and I made it into my own kind of flavor. This wasn't originally my idea. Oh, Nova wants to say some shit.
I was gonna say, you're lying.
No, seriously, this wasn't originally my idea, the idea of a Brunhild light blue diversity. The funny thing is that I literally just called up Dayman probably months ago, and I'm like, hey dude, I just want to make a deck that literally has 8 cards, and I don't have anything for the other freaking 32 cards, because literally the entire deck is just focused around a playset of 2 cards. This and this is literally the deck. Everything else is just filler. Nothing else in this deck is important in my mind. It's just these are the bread and butter, and everything else is the cutlery. So I'll get to the rest of this stuff in a bit. That's a good way to put it. Right? Okay, so the deck is a light water Brunhild diversity deck. One of my favorite cards whenever I'm doing light decks is Flourishing Hope. A lot of you guys that play Valhalla Cluster only aren't a big fan of this, obviously because it's from Rare Cluster, but it's an awesome 1-drop quick cast to keep your J/Resonator from dying until the end of turn, and then on the inverse side it becomes, Burgeoning Despair, which is 1 dark and 2 colorless, and it lets me kind of play through, and Dayman will attest to this, play through the barrier or keep things alive, because then I'm just forcing my opponent to banish, right? Yeah. This mixed with the Blade of Faith is a good combination, because either I'm removing their stuff from the game or I'm making them get rid of it for me. So I run 3 of the Flourishing Hopes. Then a card that is my continuous frustration, and for some reason I can never freaking get it to work right, ever. If I had $1 for every minute of my life I've wasted in versus videos, having Dayman explain the same shit to me over and over and over again like a complete Neanderthal. So I know what you're talking about. You know the card. I don't even have to show it on camera. The card is Separation of Fates, and you know what? When you read it, it sounds like a great card. But then you realize that it never quite works out the way you want it to.
It's because you keep trying to use it on shit that has automatic abilities or activate abilities.
Okay, whatever, Dayman. Whatever. Separation of Fates.
Like banishing abilities.
Quick cast, 1-drop chant. Target J/Resonator loses all abilities until the end of turn. Draw a card. Well, because a lot of the times when you make them, get rid of the abilities, they just activate the abilities in response to it.
Yep. So it's nice because if you use it against something that has a banish ability, they either think if they don't activate it, then it'll lose that ability, and then if you kill it, they don't get the use of the ability. They don't get the
I just want to see the tree for a second. Just keep talking.
Hold on. Okay.
Hey, no, we're not explaining it again. We're not doing this again.
It's nice because you can either bait them out, right? So if they have the banishing ability, it's either they do it then, or they lose the ability, and then if they kill it, or you kill it, or whatever, then they lose it. So you're forcing them to go, I better play it safe. Use my ability.
Wait, you're forcing them to
banish. What? You're forcing them to banish it. Otherwise, they think that they'll lose the ability and you'll kill it another way.
Oh, okay. So you're forcing them to banish them. Okay, so I'm using 2 of an awesome 1-drop quick cast chant, Aura of Hope. It's a really good defensive play, especially if you're going up against decks like Kirik and Ayu and stuff like that. If they're going for that swing to win, I only run 2. I do have a decent amount of draw, so it's not that bad to run into. I run, going off of diversity, of course, I need to run 3 of Venus, Magus of the Metal Star. She has 2 resonator types, which I've actually noticed in the Awakening of the Ancients is not a very common thing. I think there's 2 or 3 resonators that have multiple resonator types. Mm-hmm. It's really weird. So she's got multiple abilities, but the only one I ever use in this deck is her Enter the Field ability to draw a card. She's a 2/2, and I really like her when I use her for diversity. Of course, I run a playset of what I consider one of the greatest light cards currently in rotation, Spear of the Valkyries. It's awesome. You can use it against Jays. You always gain life because the ruler is Brunhild, and it's just a good spot removal. I run 3 of the Resonator Messenger of the Sun. Again, he's just awesome, especially with all of the new additions that are just crazy good. It's really important to have addition removal, which is kind of unfortunate because blue kind of doesn't. Blue doesn't, red kind of doesn't. It's really just darkness and light and green.
Yeah.
So the other colors just kind of get shafted, I guess. And of course, because I run so many runes in this deck, this is my main draw mechanic. Probably the workhorse in terms of resonators for this deck. I run 4 of the March Hare of Valhalla. He is a 2 hard light, 6/6, a Fairy Tale Were-Rabbit resonator, so we got another 2 types there. With Rune 2, he gains Drain, and Rune 4, this card gains a buff of 3/3. So mid to late game, he becomes phenomenal. Going off of multiple resonator types and Drain, just to keep ahead of your opponent, I run 2 of Grimia's Fairy, also a 2 hard light, a little bit weaker than March Hare, 5/5, but it's also got Flying as well as Drain, and a new resonator type that we haven't seen so far, which is Fairy. So she's Fairy and Fairy Tale. And of course, you cannot have a diversity deck without the... I always forget the name of this freaking thing. The Kingdom of Diversity Light Palace. So it's pretty much just like a strength multiplier. It puts a 1/1, or not, it doesn't put a 1/1, but it buffs all of your resonators by 1/1 for every different resonator type that they don't share, I guess?
For every different resonator
Every
type.
different
among
resonator
them.
type. And then if I do flip Brunhild, all of my stuff would also get Flying.
Yep.
I run 3 of Misteltine, the Pious Sword Saint, one of them in Glorious Alt Art that I can thank Nova over here for trading me. She's a 12/12. Her enter ability is to pay 1 light and 1 colorless less for any rune. And she's just awesome. Fishing her out of the grave with Brunhild is an awesome ability. Bodying into stuff to do more damage and destroy your opponent's pesky resonators. And of course, getting a 3-drop or less if you cast stuff from the rune deck. Just a really good resonator. And then a card that probably nobody else is running in their deck because it's batshit insane and I love it, is the Chant Crippling Light. It is a 5-drop to just kill everything. Just kill everything that isn't a golem. So essentially everything, because nobody's stupid enough to play golems. Straight up.
Yeah.
Hashtag dropping shade on frickin' what's her face? What's her face? Name her face. Who's the golem chick?
Oh, Pandora.
Pandora. Dropping shade on Pandora.
Is there any golems even in Valhalla?
No.
No.
So it's all Raya cluster.
I think they released one for Wulm. I think there was one in
There's
Wulm.
like random stranglers that are golems for other decks and stuff, but yeah.
Okay, and of course, the backbone of the deck. Literally the thing that I just sat down and I'm like, there should be a thing. This needs to exist in the world. I run 4 of Spinning Aqua Souls, which it is a quick cast for 1 blue chant. Put target chant from your graveyard into your hand. And of course, the chants I'm going to be grabbing is Blade of Faith. It is a 1 light drop, Divinity 2, but we don't care because it's not in our deck. And it removes target resonator from the game. And we just keep doing it. We just keep doing it. This deck gets absolutely annihilated by any ruler-centric decks, but it's really good against decks that are very focused on resonators.
And he has done it 12 times in a match.
Oh my god, so many times. Actually, I don't even know if that's...
No, you can do it 13 times. Because you do it 3 times 4 is 12. And then 1 more for your rune area. You can do it 13 times.
Yeah, but there isn't 4 in the deck, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, I'm multiplying it. Durr. Man, that's hard.
Don't worry about it.
These are basically another copy of these.
Yeah,
So
or
it's
anything
6,
else, depending
yeah.
on what the situation requires. Stone deck is pretty simple. I run 1 Magic Stone of Faith, just in case I'm going up against a green deck. I do run several humans. I run 2 Magic Stones of Omniscience, which is for my rune deck, and I will explain that in a sec. I run 3 Magic Stones of Time, just to screw with my opponent. They'll see Magic Stone of Time and then start, like, getting uncomfortable. But it's literally just a water stone. I run 4 Magic Stones of Hope because of their inverse. I can play the inverse side of Flourishing Hope, which is Burgeoning Despair. And then my rune deck is really simple. I literally run Sand Awakening in everything. Freaking love that card, even though I don't run any fire resonators in this deck. I run a Blade of Faith in here. That should really be a full art. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yep.
The one in the rune deck?
Did you have a full art in your main deck?
I have two. I have two full arts in my main deck. I have Bewilder, which is a phenomenal rest target J/Resonator. It could actually be really helpful against ruler-centric decks. And then, of course, that gets coupled really well with Brunhild's Wrath, destroy tapped J/Resonator, and a little bit of flavor. And the reason for the Magic Stones of Omniscience is Invitation, in case I need to search for something. I mean, I get enough draw, so that shouldn't be an issue, but it's a nice thing to depend on if I need to. So yeah, this was my Brunhild Diversity, your opponent can't have Resonators deck.
Done in under 10 minutes. Good job.
Are you serious?
It's a little bit over, but good job.
Yeah!